William Walker Atkinson's The New Psychology, its message, principles, and practice. Chapter 19 was Mind and Body. This is Chapter 20, Positive and Negative Qualities. There seems to be a universal law of polarity. Everything has its positive and negative aspects, or poles. The mind is no exception to this rule. There are positive qualities of mind and negative qualities of mind. The positive qualities or states manifest strength and power, the negative, weakness and impotence. There are two sides to every individual, and upon his decision between them depends his advancement, welfare, progress, and success. As Goethe says, "In my breast, alas, two souls dwell, all there is unrest." Each with the other strives for mastery, each from the other struggles to be free. Excuse me. When the individual is forced to consider any feeling, emotion, idea, action, advice, suggestion, or teaching, he should always submit it to the touchstone of positivity by asking himself, will this make me stronger, more powerful, more capable, more efficient, better? In the degree that the thing corresponds to these qualifications, so is its degree of positivity. It becomes the duty of every individual wishing to progress on the path of life and desiring to become more proficient and capable in his expression and manifestation of mentality, to cultivate the positive qualities of mind and to restrain and inhibit the negative ones. This is the idea that we have carried with us through the course of writing the preceding chapters of this book. Behind every explanation, method, and bit of information, there has always been this one idea: the cultivation and development of your positive qualities, and the restraint and inhibition of your negative ones. And this is the test that we invite and urge you to make your rule of life when coming to the point of considering any feeling, emotion, thought, or action. Any mental state, in fact. This magic test question: will this make me stronger, more powerful, more capable, more efficient, better? There is no trouble in any individual deciding which of his mental states or qualities are positive and which are negative. Everyone, if honest with himself, recognizes both sets of qualities within himself, and recognizes the different degrees of positivity and negativity, respectively, possessed by each particular one. It does not need a teacher to state that courage is positive and cowardice negative, nor that honesty is positive and dishonesty negative, nor that truth is positive and untruth negative, nor that energy is positive and slothfulness negative, nor that persistence is positive and the lack of it negative, and so on. One may almost intuitively place the tag of positivity or negativity upon these qualities or mental states without the need of a long list of them. In the consideration of this matter, you should always remember that every positive quality has its negative opposite. This is an invariable rule, and one that you may test for yourself. And arising from it is the important rule of the new psychology that, to develop a positive quality, it is important to restrain or inhibit its opposing negative. To restrain or inhibit a negative quality, develop and encourage its opposing positive. You will find constant reference to this leading rule in this book, for it is the foundation stone of the practical work of the new psychology. It is worthy of being carved over the door of every institute of learning in the world, for its observance would create a new race of men and women, and a new civilization of positive, capable, efficient people. Beginning with our statement of the conception of the ego and its mastery and control over the mind, we began to urge upon you the cultivation of the positive qualities and the restraint of the negative ones. This is the first work of the ego of the advancing man. The ego should always be held positive to the feelings, emotions, desires, and other mental states. The will should be held positive to the desires. The intellect should be held positive to the emotions, desires, and feelings. The ego should hold itself positive toward the subconsciousness in order that the latter shall be a faithful servant instead of a tyrannical master. The ego should be positive toward the attention and imagination. And all this in order that the positive qualities of the individual may be developed instead of the negative ones, and that the negative qualities may be restrained or inhibited. To this end, the entire work of this book is devoted. This is the meaning and reason of the new psychology, not only to instruct the student along the lines of practical psychology, but also to instruct them that he can develop the positive and restrain the negative qualities of his mind, and then to tell him how to do it. To attain the desired positive state, the knowledge of the reality of the ego has been stated to you. To know the ego is to use it, and to use it is to acquire positivity. True egoism develops positivity, while egotism develops negativity, for it is in itself negative, being based on a false sense of the importance of personality, instead of on the firm, real basis of individuality. The truth regarding consciousness is useful only insofar as we use the principles of controlling and developing it. The subconsciousness is a field for the highest and greatest endeavors of the race, in the direction of filling it with the thoughts, ideas, experiences, and truths calculated to result and manifest in positive feeling, thought, and acting. The superconscious region is valuable to us only in the degree that it serves us and enables us to develop and advance. The principles regarding impressions and perception are important to us because by controlling them we may acquire the qualities calculated to render us more efficient and capable. Every sense and every channel of impression and perception should be, and may be, devoted to the cultivation of the positive qualities, and to the restraint of the negative ones. By treading the right mental paths, we acquire the habit of right thinking and right acting, both positive qualities. The truth of, as a man thinketh, is applicable to the cultivation of the positive qualities and a restraint of the opposite ones. In the control of the emotions, we have a mighty instrument for the cultivation of the positive qualities. In the mastery and conscious control of the imagination, we have another powerful instrument. In the understanding of the nature of desire and its management, we have another. In the will, we have the reins that guide the fiery steeds of desire, emotion, and feeling, and which may direct and guide them toward the right-hand path, the path of positivity. In mental suggestion and autosuggestion, we have the methods whereby the ego may control, develop, and manage the mental faculties with a minimum of effort. In the management and control of thought, we have the key toward the cultivation of the higher positive expressions and manifestations. And so, in each of the various parts and chapters of this book, we have touched upon points concerning this question of positivity, have traveled the several roads leading toward the same goal, positivity. Man should be more than a mere creature of chance, environment, and outside influences. He should be ruled from within, self-ruled by the power of the ego. Instead of being merely a weak instrument of desire, emotion, and feeling, influenced by suggestions and impressions from every passing thing or person, man should be a strong instrument of the will guided and directed by the ego, with full qualities of reason regulating, deciding, and determining, and with full will enforcing the determination. Man should become a very giant of endeavor and attainment, instead of the petty, crawling weakling that so many of his kind are now. Man has it in his power to make of himself what he will, to become his own mental creator, instead of allowing others to create his mentality for him. This is a veritable fact, and it is one of the purposes of the new psychology to bring the race to a realization of its truth. Too long has man bowed before what he considers fate. Man is now learning to be his own fate. The fundamental idea of the new psychology is embodied in the symbol of the charioteer driving his fiery steeds under full control and with taut rein. The chariot represents the being of the man, the charioteer, the ego, the reins, the will, the steeds, the mental states of feeling, emotion, desire, imagination, and the rest. Unless the reins be strong, they will not be sufficient to control the horses. Unless the charioteer be trained and vigilant, the horses will run away with the chariot and dash to pieces the driver in general wreck. But controlled and mastered, the fiery steeds will leap forward to attainment and accomplishment, and at the same time will travel the road in safety. And now, as we reach the end of the book, we would remind you that all that you have read will avail you not if you refrain from acting upon the advice given. If you rest content with the mere intellectual understanding of the subject, you will have gained but little. But, on the other hand, if you will determine to manifest in action the ideas herein taught, you will have started on the road to attainment and positivity. Each of you is the charioteer driving the fiery steeds with the reins of the will. How are you driving? Are you mastering the steeds, or are they mastering you? It is in your power to curb, control, urge on, and direct these splendid mental creatures, so that you may travel far into regions of attainment and accomplishment. Or it is within your power to allow them to wander from side to side of the road, traveling away from the main road and into the swamps and morasses on the side. Or it is within your power to give them their heads and allow them to rush away with you to destruction. Have you decided which of the three courses you shall follow? Have you decided whether you shall be the master or the mastered? There comes a time in the life of each one of us when this question must be answered. The course chosen. It may be that this time has come to you in the reading of this book. Are you ready to answer it? Remember, the question is, mastery or servitude? Which?